Holy shit. We are in for a treat today because I have one of my soul sisters as a guest. Laura Campbell, welcome to the Cricket Fixes podcast.
Oh my God, I could not be more excited about this right now.
I know. I think this show, like, I have chills. I'm lit up like a Christmas tree. I'm just like, I'm ready to go. You're one of my favorite people on earth. You have been one of my, oh my God, one of my saviors, my biggest cheerleaders, my big sister, you name it. You have been there for me. I cannot wait for people in my following to get to know you today. So I'm going to start with
Yay.
putting you on the spot. Um, so tell us a little bit about you and what you're working on, but then share how we met.
Oh, I love that. Thank you for asking me. A little about me. I said I am like everyone listening to this. I am, perfectly imperfect. My life has taken a joyful and very hard, twisty, windy road that I never imagined. Um, and here I am. And we'll get into it later, but the name of my business and why I call it that way is that this thing called life is unpredictable and uncertain and uncomfortable. And I've loved all the pieces of that. Um, so yeah, I'm a mom. I have two sons. I'm living my best life in my late 50s in Colorado, where I never imagined I'd be. And so, yeah, lots of stories to tell of how I got here. How did we meet? Wait, what feels like an eternity ago in
I
early
know.
2019. We both unknowingly, because we did not know each other, made the decision to embark on a journey through Modern Elder Academy.
Mm-hmm.
And we were clearly both drawn to a retreat called Soul Journey. And how the hell we landed there and why is a whole nother
That's a whole other
conversation, but we
show.
did.
Totally.
That's a whole other show. But we spent 2 weeks with an intimate group of what started off as strangers and are not, as our soul brothers and sisters,
Yes.
um, deeply diving into our souls and and finding a safe space to question and to explore and to reimagine. And I don't know or remember life before our group and before you. Like I just don't.
Oh my God, I'm going to cry.
Don't.
Oh my
I
God.
know.
So I'm going to warn listeners right now. I should have warned in the beginning, like grab your tea because I like to keep things like 30 minutes or less because that's how my brain works. So that's my audience. We're like on the go, like get all the juicy stuff in. But I'm sorry, this one's going over because there is this just magical love and connection. And I know we have so many things to cover in this podcast, and I will cut us off at some point because I'm going to have you on again and again
Yeah.
and again. Um, but I think what you just said is, wow, that was really profound. Like, I don't remember life before, or what I'm horribly
Like
paraphrasing.
before that experience and before
Yeah,
knowing you. Like, I mean, it was so that profound.
yes, I agree 100%. It was that profound. And I do want to do another show sometime just on like this idea of unfolding, right? When we follow the breadcrumbs of life, what can come up for healing and transformation and rebirth and all the things. Okay,
Yeah.
but so we're gonna continue this love fest, but I'm gonna put you totally on the spot right now.
Oh, good. Good.
um,
No, it does not scare me.
I know it doesn't, and that's what I love about it. And I know you're gonna be honest too, like brutally honest. What was your first impression of me when you met me as a stranger at Soul Journey?
So everyone here should know, and we could go deeper at another time, that it was getting there, saying yes to the retreat was one of the most excruciatingly hard decisions, right? And for so many reasons, when you're following breadcrumbs, sometimes it doesn't make sense, and we can get really twisted in how to make a decision and is it a right decision. And so I landed in Baja for 2 weeks and stood on the beach in the most beautiful place I'd almost ever been, and wept on the beach saying, holy shit, how did I get here? What am I doing here? This was a terrible mistake. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know anyone here. I don't even know what I'm getting out of this whole thing. Very scary. And then I met y'all. I met our group, and when I met you, I was like, I've never met someone like this. You were this bright and free spirit that I didn't have in my life. I didn't have, I was a single mom of 2 kids in a suburban community where everything had always been as planned and pretty predictable. And you were none of that. You were like doing all the explorations and in your personal life and your relational life. And I learn, and I'm listening and going, oh my God, she's either crazy or I am just in desperate need of more of that. And I think
Mm,
when I met you, I just felt like this is a woman who can show me that life can feel so much freer and so much more open. And that was so hard for me. It was so hard for me at that moment in time.
wow. Wow. I am humbled.
And
I
I
am
remember,
humbled.
I won't share here now, but I remember just taking certain walks on the beach with you and you sharing things that were happening in your life, and me thinking, I'm so grateful to be in a place and space with someone who, and I think we all, right? Anyone listening to this, it's rare that we have people in our life that we can share without judgment, and we can
Yes.
be honest about what we really are feeling, experiencing, or want to do or feel, and just be open to what that exploration is. And I just remember walking on the beach and feeling like this is the most amazing conversation, all of them, that we
Yeah.
can be this open and transparent and honest with each other.
Oh, you just like, so first of all, you filled my heart up. I feel so seen listening to that. Like remarkably. And what I think what's interesting is how I perceived myself, right? Which is often different from how others perceive us in those moments. But I think like that's really what I'm bringing with this show and with Cricket Fixes is this idea of openness and vulnerability and what can really grow, transform, and plant from that openness, right? And how important that is, and finding the spaces, the places, the people that we can be open with. And that certainly, that environment certainly brought that openness out. So thank you for sharing that. And I'm going to share my first impressions of you. I was like, wow, she's really pretty.
Oh
She's
my
really
God.
pretty, and she's so put together, and she's got her shit together. And I'm a mess. And as a mom too, and there's just this anyone who knows you knows this, there's this beautiful acceptance and gentleness that you bring, that is you're lovely, like you're a lovely soul. Like that's the
I
way I describe you, as just you're lovely and
oh,
welcoming and smart and wise. You're so wise, and you're so caring and you're careful. And oh God, now I'm going to go down the rabbit hole, because what I love about you, Laura, is you hold space for people to be on their own journey. You really do. In all the ugliness, you make sure that it's safe for them, and you masterfully do not cross this boundary of, um, it's consent. Hey, can I offer you a perspective versus, well, let me tell you what's going on. whereas, whereas my style is like, yes, it's your journey, but okay, you've asked. So now I'm going to share my thoughts, but you just have this gentleness about your soul that is incredible. And then from there, people can really open and vulnerable. And then you quickly moved into the only way, I don't know if I'm using the word right, but it was like a duality for me. You were both my big sister that I never had, and you were also my dear friend. Like it was
Yeah.
both. It was someone I could look up to, but someone that I could feel equal with. And that's such a rare combination that I still feel to this day, almost 5 years later.
I know it's amazing. It's really a testament to, and I think, listen, I'm a proponent. I know you are as well, of people engaging in an immersive experience with others. Like there's
Yeah.
something that happens when you can quiet the noise of the world and be present with others who are who perhaps you don't know, and that you can learn from and share with. And there's just nothing like that. There really isn't anything like that.
I couldn't agree more. And that's why like I'm so passionate about the retreat experience, because the
Yeah.
humanity that comes from navigating your own challenges with a diverse group of people is really what shifts perspective into this kind of limitlessness that we get stuck into. Oh my gosh, this is possible.
Yeah.
Change,
Yeah.
transformation is possible. And look at these incredible human beings that are doing remarkable things in their lives. So,
Yeah.
what a gift to spend 2 weeks
What
with
a
you.
gift. I know.
Okay, so the thank you. Gosh, I'm just like taking all of that in, both the receiving and
Me
the giving.
too.
So what I want to talk about today too is this idea of unfolding as we seek to transform, become our best selves. I'm using a lot of cliche terms, but for me, I'm very type A. I'm very action oriented. I'm very, what's the goal? I'm going to get there. What's the next thing? You know this about me. But the idea, like the word unfolding, is so beautiful because what's coming up for me is it gives this sense of grace, this sense of you can have everything like mapped out, planned out, your ideals, your goals, your ambitions, but it really is an unfolding of connecting with self, connecting with spirit. We can talk about your thoughts on that, but that things come up along the path that maybe shift the path a little bit. And so it's a process versus okay, I'm going to do these actions and I'm going to get there. So I want your thoughts. That's how I
Yeah.
interpret like your
Yeah.
business, and what you guide people through is this kind of stickiness, that it's not linear. It's really,
No, no,
yeah.
no, it's not linear. And the reason that I chose unfolding was, there are lots of words, right? Words and words and lots of words. Um, transition is a word that's often used. I'm transitioning from this to this, right? This really all started when I got divorced, and there was this notion I'm in a transition, right? I'm getting divorced. The thing that I learned that I had not anticipated was it actually isn't that simple, right? It's not, I'm married and then I'm divorced. Actually, everything changed. And actually, it was just the very teeny tiny seed being planted, frankly, from I've been divorced 20 years. I would not be here in this life that I love if that hadn't been planted then.
Hmm.
Unfolding for me means there's no actual beginning or end. right? So where a transition is, I'm transitioning to retirement. There'll be a party and then I'm retired, right? Beginning and end. I'm working and now I'm retired. Or, I'm empty nesting. I had kids at home and now my kids are gone. Doesn't work that way. It's just there's a tension around it. What I really believe is that there's no beginning and end. Our life is just one beautiful unfolding journey, that every single day is a new opportunity to begin again. Today, this morning was one state of being, and by the end of today, it will be different. Things will be different. I will be different. The world will be different. Whatever it is, like it just there's no
Yes.
and what happens today, and every little choice, every big choice, actually informs what happens next.
Oh my
And sometimes
gosh.
it's the things that we see and imagine, and sometimes it's absolutely unexpected. It's not that it's always positive or always feeling good, but it is the story. It is how the fabric of our life is made. And so for me, it's just, I don't want to talk about a chapter, although there are eras of our life for sure. But I think it's just one beautiful unfolding journey. And I think you said the word earlier, but I think I live a lot of my time personally and professionally in the space of imagining what is possible given the
Mm,
realities. I'm not up in some, you know, you know, Pollyanna or, you know, um, you know, spiritually bypassing anybody's
hmm.
current emotional experience or real experience. No, but I am always saying that there are always things that are possible that sometimes we just have trouble accessing. And so I just want to be for people a place to hopefully help to access what's possible when it doesn't feel like they can.
I Okay, I'm going to hang out here for a little bit because there are two things that you said that really struck me. One is every single day is shaping us, right? It's these little experiences, just like you said, every decision. It's almost like, well, what's coming up for me is the butterfly effect. Right? Just one little, okay, what's the next thing and what's the next thing? And how fucking cool is that? That our actions, our mindset, our thoughts are creating a vibration. They're creating a ripple effect of what's to come next.
Yeah.
That's really exciting. But then so I love that thought. And the way that I think about, like if I'm using a visual for anyone out there that's visual, is that kaleidoscope that keeps
Mm.
changing and morphing. And that's really a metaphor for life, is how do the colors change now and what are the shapes because of, and they lead into each other, right? We're looking at one thing and then it morphs into something else. And that's kind of what we're doing. But I love that you brought
And
that
every
to.
and with the kaleidoscope, you move it, and you can
Yes.
think of that as every choice or experience. It's a shifting of that, and that's why the whole thing shifts and changes and just is so fluid. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah. And I also love that you're addressing people that are in the thick of something really challenging, right? Like for 3 years, I was leaning on you to navigate a very toxic relationship. And it's hard when you're in the thick of something that big, divorce, death, right? A close death. It's it's almost impossible to see the gifts that are being presented to you in that, because your brain is in survival mode. So
Correct.
I kind of want to I just want to honor you again, because this is why you're so amazing, is that there are experiences where it can be hard to see those opportunities and to see that this is a seed that is being planted for my greatest and highest good. And sometimes
Yeah.
we are in survival mode.
Yeah. And we have to be graceful with ourselves and those around us when they are, right? Like, so,
Yeah.
I've always felt like it is important to be a placeholder. Like, I hope my voice is always a
Yes.
placeholder with the people in my life and my clients to say, there there is more that is possible. There are things that you may not be able to see right now or access. Okay, right? That's okay. And we can hold both. We can hold that this is really hard and you can't see beyond it, and there actually is more beyond it. And we can hold both and just try to stay with that until you are ready to access or can access, yes, there is something more that I can do or I can trust. And that's really, really hard when you're in the thick of something that is really emotionally difficult. It's
Yes.
really
I
hard.
mean, this is why, like, you're so wise. Where did this wisdom come from?
Oh, girl, it's coming from
Seriously.
all the things that all of us have lived to be, if you're still here, right?
Yes.
If you've got the privilege and the blessing to still be here, then you're standing today. No matter, I don't care who you are out there. This isn't unique to me or you, Krista. You've lived through a lot. You have a lot to stand proudly on. You have a lot of resilience that you probably haven't even acknowledged. And so, yeah, we're all standing here.
Let's talk about that for everyone listening that struggles to tap into the gifts. Let's just start with your resilience, and you got
Yeah.
through it and you're still here. Right? And I think that's like such an important part of this idea of unfolding is everyone has these incredible gifts, and they might not realize it yet. They might not see their own beauty and see their own potential and see their own. And I think that's where I come in as the cheerleader and you come in as the
Mhm.
wise one with your words of wisdom to go, whoa, I never thought of that. You need that in your corner. You need to be able to have someone, oh, this is what it is. Validate, right? You're so good at validating someone's experience. And gosh, that
I'm
validation just turns the noise down on hard things. It turns the emotional volume down when you feel seen.
Oh God, listen, it's really important to think about and be intentional around who you surround yourself with, and the people that you can lean on in difficult times, right? I mean, and resilience is an interesting thing. Um, Getting through something, it doesn't matter how you got through it, you got through it. Right? You got through it. And if you can
Yes.
stand on the other side of it, then you are resilient. You have gotten through it. And it doesn't matter how you come out of it, right? You are here. And again, to that point of like every day is a new opportunity, there is something you can do today. Not saying it's significant, and maybe it's just quieting the noise and loving up on yourself, but there's something. Every day is an opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
But let's be clear, there is so much every single one of us has to be proud of. Every single one of us.
No doubt. And the next thing that's coming up for me is being able to see those things a little more clearly, which kind of relates to something that you and I have gone through and chosen, which is to not consume alcohol anymore. And
Yeah.
this is a good segue because I think in the last year of not having alcohol has really allowed me to not only see my gifts and my resilience and the learnings and lessons that have come from everything, but also the clarity and what to do with those experiences so that I'm enriching my life and the people around me. So I would love your thoughts on your, I mean, I've talked about it, a bit on the show, but I want to hear about your own kind of sober journey and what that's been like for you
Yeah.
and the
So,
gifts that have come from it.
the sober journey is such an interesting one, right? But whether by choice or not, right? The difference between being in recovery or choosing sobriety. I chose sobriety. It came actually. I think this happens for a lot of women. It came out of menopause for me. It came out of, wow, I didn't feel well anymore. It wasn't working for me. And boy, was it a disappointment. I was bummed. It was not an active choice at the time. It was not like, people are like, oh, you're so healthy. I'm like, it had nothing to fucking do with that. Like, I loved my happy hour martinis. I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, this isn't feeling well. So I'm just going to, let me try a week, see how I feel. And the week I felt good. And then I was like, all right, well, I'm just going to do another week and not have a drink. And um, there's a lot that happens, right? This is a complex choice. Um, it felt really good physiologically, right? I didn't wake up cloudy, I didn't wake up with a headache. I didn't, um, and so the physical part felt great, right? There's that. And it is a lifestyle change.
Mm-hmm.
And so it actually, I found myself seeing myself in new ways, right? So a few examples. One is I was like, happy hours and all the kind of crazy fun conversations and experiences that came from having a buzz on were gone. And I was like, well, that was a really fun part of my life and a fun part of my social life. And I was like, not sure what to do with that. It doesn't feel the same. And maybe I'm not quite as fun without it. And I really, really have struggled, over the years with, what does being fun look like?
Mm.
What is
Mm-hmm.
that like? And am I? And what, like, you really start to ask those kinds of questions. And the truth is, in my sober journey, what came forward was just how introverted I am, and
Mm.
actually just how I'm a little bit of an intense and serious person. I have an amazing sense of humor, which I'm my best audience. And those that know me, I really have a good sense of humor. And but
Absolutely.
but I'm not always super light, right? The light that comes when you've had a few drinks, right? That kind of light. And so learning to accept that I'm actually quite introverted and I am serious and I can have fun, but it looks very different. And guess what? That means that perhaps I'm not everyone's favorite flavor anymore. And so
Yeah.
allowing relationships to evolve, allowing
Mm-hmm.
relationships to fall away, friendships and relationships, and welcoming new friendships has been a big part of this sobriety journey for me.
Yeah.
And listen, dating, those of you out there who are dating, I had many people, men, tell me, and I was very upfront early on with, I am sober by choice. I'm not in recovery, so I'm okay with going out and being in the environment of. And I had many men say that does not work for me. Okay,
Whoa.
okay, good to know
Right.
up front.
Yeah. Right.
Good to
Moving
know.
on.
That's your definition and experience of fun, and don't meet that.
Yes.
I don't have to feel bad about that. This is
Not
good
at
to know.
all. Yeah.
You're not my person. You're not my
It's the
person.
filter. It's the colander that's straining them out.
Yeah, baby. And it's like when you're looking to buy a house, you only need one. You're not buying two. You're only buying one. So yeah, I'm not looking for quality, but these are the things that when people really make a choice not to
Yeah.
stop for like a month or whatever, there are other things that come with it, other psychological and other lifestyle things that evolve and shift, and it's just important to know that.
Yeah. And I, being the extreme extrovert, I found dancing on the dance floor. um, that I was able to access, like I'm out on the dance floor for like 3 hours straight, and I'm able to like go within and just be in my own little dancey head in a new way. Like I appreciated it in a new way. And it was really beautiful to see. Like I remember recently, this was only like a few weeks ago, out on the dance floor. And I'm like, holy shit, I'm even more fun not drinking than
I
I
so
was.
love that.
Yeah, it was that it really surprised me. And as you know, I've always been an open book. So I think if any, it's been really interesting is I'll wake up the next day and go, holy shit, I said that. And I was sober. Like I'm
Right.
excited. I'm excited that I'm having these conversations, knowing that that is my authentic self
Yeah.
speaking that was so a core of who I am, that came out without feeling like it was alcohol that was using those words or saying those things or thinking those things. So I love
It's different for every person, right?
yeah,
It is an opportunity to learn more about oneself, right? When you strip that
yes.
away, you are learning more about yourself.
Yes, and as we're recording this, we are in the season of celebration, the deep in the season of higher alcohol use, and then quickly soon we're going to be going into the season of questioning and reflecting and saying, this idea of New Year's resolutions, which I want to speak to because there's a lot of controversy around
Yeah.
New Year's resolutions, which on one hand, it's like, yay, intention setting. What am I going to do? Which I applaud. And then there's the other side, which is, oh my gosh, it's over ambitious. You're setting yourself up for failure. It's about building patterns over time. And uh, here's my hot take on it. This idea of having a timestamp every year of reflection and then intention setting, I think is actually really important and beautiful. And there's a collective energy around who do I want to be? And I would argue anyone that's going into the new year with a New Year's quote unquote resolution knows that they are not living their most authentic life, that there is a habit, a thing that just isn't allowing them to fully express all that they were meant to express in this lifetime. It's just my belief. So as I look at, okay, I want to eat healthier. Well, why? Because I want to move in my body freely, right? Well, why? Because I got shit to do in this world. I need the energy to be unfolding my life's purpose. Well, why? Because I came here with these gifts that I need to express, right? So if you do the 5 layers, I think it's five or
Yeah,
seven
I
or
love
10 or 15 layers of why, you get to the core of, you know, what is it that you want to intend for yourself? And so I want to talk now about 2 ways that I think it's a beautiful time of year to do this reflection and intention setting. And one of them is with your gifts that you offer to folks. So talk a little
yeah.
bit about what you
So
do
I
this time
love
of
that,
year.
Krista. So as if anyone knows me, I'm going to take any anything, any invitation to set intentions or come back to a reimagination. So every day, every beginning of a month, a new moon, full moon,
Yes.
birthday, new season, equinox, solstice, New Year's Eve, holidays, Rosh Hashanah. Like, I don't give a shit what it is. I'm taking
First
it as an
Thursday of the month.
first Thursday, Taco Tuesday, like whatever. I literally am a super fan of like,
Yes.
because it gives us agency. We're not locked in. 2 words that I'd like to just rid ourselves of are resolution and goal. Goals are really hard. Um, I love the word intention. And I love the imagining who we want to be. I also would encourage anyone listening to this to just start with, how do you want to feel? Or how
Mm.
do you not want to feel? Right? I don't want to feel tired anymore, or I want to feel more peaceful, or whatever it is that you want to feel. Be honest about it. What do you want to feel, and what do you not want to feel anymore? Because then you can start to actually say, what has to happen for me to feel that way or stop feeling that way? um and so and I was just on a panel where we talked about goal setting, and someone said, what if this was the no goal setting? Like, what if you had nothing? And like I said, I don't love goals. So I said, I don't want to use that word, but we are conditioned to think about that we have to do, be, or create. That's how you fulfill an intention. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's, I'm actually not going to do something. That's my active rebellion, is that I am actually going to get quiet, and I'm going to just let go of lots of shit. I'm not going to add anything or do anything or create anything. I'm actually just going to let go of stuff. That's my big act. So, with that in mind, I can share with you, as I did earlier, that every year um, I create a workbook of sorts that has lots of different prompts to consider how you want to feel, to consider um, intentions you might have, and also to really celebrate, because I don't think we celebrate it, and I don't think that
Mm.
we take enough time to say, what are we proud of? What
Yes.
are the many, many things that happened this year that, you know what, we should feel proud of, even if it didn't look the way we thought it would?
Hmm.
And so I have a little, I call it my little inspiration and aspiration guide.
Oh, I
And
love
it's
that.
downloadable and it's beautiful. And it has lots of prompts and questions. And then this year, because 24 was a tumultuous year for so many, I actually thought we needed
Yes.
extra time to think about our resilience and how do we reclaim courage and joy. And so I made a little recovery and resilience workbook around how to find courage and joy in trying times. And that could be
Mm.
anything. And it's just lots of prompts. It's free, they're downloadable, they're pretty. And
Because
I
you're
can say that
pretty.
'cause I didn't design them, so they're so pretty. But I personally take time the last week of the year. I set aside a few chunks of time, and I just sit quietly, and I just
Mm.
jot my thoughts down in them, and I just start to come up with a couple of things that I want to focus my attention and intention on. And the only thing I can say is it's how I begin to align my time, how we spend our
Yes.
days around those things. Because that's really, everybody's very busy, everyone runs out of time. We have to be careful to use that resource. That's our most precious resource. It's actually not money, it's our time.
Oh, amen. I so I first want to thank you for creating those workbooks and offering them for free. I'll make
Oh,
sure to include wherever you're listening, go to YouTube, um, and you'll be able to get the links to all
yes.
of Laura's resources. I'll make sure that those get posted in there so that you can download them and do your own reflecting on this last year. So thank you for that, because I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna download your stuff.
And you
And
know what, Krista? I always encourage people, when you've done that, find one or two soul sisters, soul friends, and share and share
yes.
share like what you've done, and so that those around you can love and support you in
Oh,
doing the
I
things you
love
want.
that. And if you want to share them with Laura and I in the comments of the
Yeah.
YouTube video, we would love to see what comes up
Totally.
for you. Like that totally fuels me to see what is going on in these beautiful human hearts, minds, and souls. It just like, so yes, tell us what's going on.
Love it.
And
Totally.
I'll do that too. I'll commit to that. I'll do it. I'll do a little Facebook on what
Yay.
I get out of that. And then the other resource, like you mentioned this idea of quieting the mind, which is so important. I'm actually doing a free 3 meditation bundle that is
Ooh, yeah.
on reflection and then clarity and then intention. So it's this kind of 3 steps.
Perfect.
Again, we've got to quiet the mind, right? When we're in when we're in
There's a lot of
challenging
noise.
times. There's a lot
There's
of
a lot of
noise.
noise out there.
There's a
Yeah.
lot of chatter. And then, like, okay, I'm going to go a little woo now because
Yeah.
I also believe, like, that was probably like the lingering of my struggle was not being well versed in tapping into my high self and tapping into my guides, my high self, my inner knowing, my soul, right? When the more work that I did around tapping into what is my soul here to do and what is my high self saying to me, those little whispers, right? That's when everything shifted for me when I started doing that work. So, for anyone that follows me, part of the membership is doing what I call SOS sessions with me. So, they're
I
soul
love
observation.
that.
I know, isn't it fun? It's so fun.
I
And it
love
stands
that.
for soul observation sessions, where we all hop on a Zoom and we do a journal prompt. And the one for January is on setting intentions for 2025 from a soul perspective, not from our operating fear-based, survival human brain, which has its purpose. I'm not shaming the brain, but how do we really tap into and quiet the mind and tap into
Yeah.
what our soul knows what we want? Because really, the tagline for Cricket Fixes is being a human is hard and we make it easier. Like it's easier when we can quiet our mind and tap into our soul and tap into these incredible resources like you're bringing to us too, Laura. So
I
thank
love
you.
that. Yours is so beautiful. And the front page of my website, the homepage, it just says it's complicated.
Yeah.
Complicated. Let me tell you, like you just had that whole beautiful mission of cricket fixes, and I'm like, hell yes, it's
Hey, it's
complicated.
complicated. And we need both, right? We need both. So, and that's the other like super exciting thing I'm going to wrap up with is Laura is going to be offering one of her courses on the Cricket Fixes website. So as part of your membership, she's also going to give my members an exclusive discount on there just for being
Yeah.
a member. I'm so like, as you all know, I vet every single course, retreat offering to make sure it is legit. And I know that you've heard today from Laura, you can tell that she's the real deal. She's another soul sister. She's another big sister in your corner. And I just want to thank you so much, Laura, for like being
Oh
in my
my
life.
God.
I feel so fucking blessed.
I love you so much. And I just, for everyone out there, like we've got you. We've
We've
got you.
got
You,
you.
you just reach out to us and anytime. Very exciting.
Yes, thank you so much for being on the show. And here's to intentions and aspirations and inspirations and all the things. I love you, girl.
Joy, all the things.
All the things.